Warning: the following video contains explicit language, which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Are you ready?
Hey everybody, it's Jeff. I'm going to switch you over to a video here. It's going to be about 10 minutes long, and I think you'll find it kind of funny, so let's go to the video here and I'll catch you on the other side.
So remember when Donald Trump posted the fake image of Vice President Kamala Harris speaking in front of a Soviet convention? Donald Trump used AI of Vice President Kamala Harris. Well, Don Jr.'s girlfriend, Kimberly Guilfoyle, seemed to basically be speaking at a location that looked very similar to Donald Trump's post. Who's ever doing the advance work for these MAGAs must be like trolling them on purpose. But here, Don Jr.'s girlfriend, Kimberly Guilfoyle, is so deeply, deeply unwell. And she's like rapidly deteriorating each and every day. So she was a speaker at this annual Republican conference over the weekend. And about 5 people were clapping for her as she was just kind of ranting and raving a bunch of nonsense. Here, play this clip.
Run towards the brighter days ahead. Victory is in our sights. America's future is in our hands. America's destiny is in our control. And America's prosperity is in our hearts and souls. So my challenge to all of you: stay in the fight.
And again, it's almost so embarrassing that you feel slightly bad for her, but then you realize who she is. Here, play this clip.
And Act 3 is the art of the comeback.
And here she is as she finishes the speech, and she gets those applause from the 3 drunk guys at the bar who are just going back and taking their seat. This is some weird stuff. Play the clip.
On to victory on November 5th, and God bless the United States of America. She's worth fighting for. Thank you so much.
One of my favorite Kimberly Guilfoyle moments is when she was live on the app that she's on, Rumble, where she hosts some show, and then she had to go over Donald Trump being found guilty in the Manhattan District Attorney criminal case. Remember when Kimberly Guilfoyle had to do that? Here, play this clip.
It closed in a few minutes. Okay.
I think it's being read at the moment. What is it?
It's being read.
Guilty already?
Okay, so the breaking news that has come in and that we're reading across the news wires is guilty, count 1, guilty verdict, count 2, guilty verdict, count 4, so 3 and 4, count 5, guilty verdict, count 6, guilty verdict, count 7, guilty verdict, count 8, guilty verdict, count 9, guilty verdict, Count 10, guilty verdict. Count 11, guilty verdict. Count 12, guilty verdict. Count 13, a guilty verdict as well. Count 14, a guilty verdict.
It looks like we have breaking news. All counts.
Okay. Count 15, guilty verdict as well. So this is breaking news, the case of New York versus Donald J. Trump. The jury has voted unanimously, finding him guilty on all charged counts. Your reaction, Jesse?
Or perhaps my next favorite moment is when Kimberly Guilfoyle recently told Donald Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, who's been like losing case after case for Donald Trump, please, can you help Donald's children? Can you please help them get out of jail? Can you please make sure they don't get sued anymore? Here, play this clip.
It's a little favor here. If you can please get my fiance and his brother off, I'd really appreciate it. Really don't want to have to. I'm gonna have to support Junior for the rest of his life. Oh my God, what is going on with the sparkles? That was so crazy.
What's the sparkles? Oh, you know what? It's that iPhone thing. I think.
You know, and remember with Kimberly Guilfoyle, though, that she was dancing during the January 6th insurrection. While the insurrection was taking place, she was actually dancing. Here, play this clip. This MAGA movement has become, unfortunately, it's Kimberly Guilfoyle's and Alina Habba's and Marjorie Taylor Greene's and Matt Gates's and Ronnie Jackson's and James Comer's and Jim Jordan's. It's all this performative nonsense here. Remember when Don Jr. and Kimberly Guilfoyle would just watch this weird interaction that they had? Here, play this clip.
What's going on, guys? I am here with the birthday girl, Kimberly. It is her birthday, so I wanted to wish her a very happy birthday, which I did without all of you present, but I also wanted it. Did I not?
You did.
I did.
You did.
And you go back and you check out the past of Kimberly Guilfoyle. I mean, she was known for being a pretty good lawyer in California. Remember, she was married to Gavin Newsom. She worked up the rank. I know people who knew Kimberly Guilfoyle as a lawyer, and she said that she was actually pretty talented. Then she became the Fox contributor. She couldn't even last on Fox. There were lots of accusations about her personal behavior at Fox that was there. She left Fox. She met Don Jr. She became full MAGA. And the rest is, you know, what you're observing and watching there. Ron Filipkowski took a look at that speech that she gave and put together some of the lowlights here. Let me just show that for you too. Play this clip.
Taste of victory. Let's taste it again on November 5th. Who's with me? All right. Good evening. America needs who? Say his name. Donald Trump. More than ever. We're out of the White House. Are you with me? To get this country back on track. Has witnessed in the world his resilience. And we lift the American worker. We will go to bed at night that feels unrecognizable. I'm here to tell you. Don't lose hope. Americans from all walks of life have had enough of the Democrats' decline, and we are ready, we are willing, and we are able to spark a new era of American exceptionalism. You can clap for that. Leaving our country and the world worse off. November 5th is coming, and Donald John Trump is coming with it. Deserve better. Do it for them. In Act 3, is the art of the comeback. Run towards the brighter days ahead. Victory is in our sights. America's future is in our hands. America's destiny is in our control. And America's prosperity is in our hearts and souls. So my challenge to all of you, stay in the fight. On to victory on November 5th, and God bless the United States of America. She's worth fighting for. Thank you so much.
Please. Yeah, again, just some really strange stuff right there. But that was over the weekend. What Kimberly Guilfoyle was doing. On the other hand, you had Governor Walz, who was out there at a civil rights conference doing this.
Think about it in this room. This is what these folks are focusing on, spending all their time. Like reading about two male penguins who love each other is somehow going to turn your children gay, and that's what you should worry about. But here's what I'll tell you. It's a fact of life. Some people are gay. But you know what's not a fact of life? That our children need to be shot dead in schools. That's not a fact of life.
And this.
Did you hear? He's got a plan on childcare costs that no one in the world understood a damn word about it. Not one thing.
Well, I think you can see the contrast. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million together. Thanks for watching.
Wow. Jeez. Right, I mean, you know, the way she was talking, don't you get the sense that, you know, she's talking, but it doesn't sound like it's very serious, like she's trying to put on a performance? I mean, she sounds like, she's trying to do some kind of like a play or something for, like, the Third Reich or something, you know? I mean, it's like, you know, whenever one of these people on the right wing are giving a speech, or no, that's not talking about the right way. When some of these people here who are MAGA giving a speech, they don't sound like this. What they're saying is genuine. It sounds like they're regurgitating talking points or trying to sound like, oh, I'm a great person, and I'm, it sounds so phony how she was talking. You know, like she's really kind of, out there, and all I can say is that's pretty bizarre rhetoric coming from her, and she's obviously a little bit flighty. I don't know what the hell why they let her. But the Trumps. I mean, Christ, it seems like everybody, or just about everybody in that family, is kind of lopsided in their head somehow, one way or the other. Christ, even people, they ain't even blood relatives, but. Anyway, a lot of talk today across the the media spectrum for the debate that's coming tomorrow. Excuse me. And I'm kind of a little bit shocked that there's a little panic in the air from the Democrats this time around for this debate, because I mean, before, when it was Biden Trump, the Democrats were just, they didn't think that, there was going to be anything, no problem, right? But this time, they're acting like there's going to be a problem, and it's like all of a sudden they don't have enough. What they're saying is, how can we beat Trump at the debate tomorrow? He could come out there and take a dump on the stage, and the media will just say he won the debate, okay? It's like, yeah, of course they're going to say, he won. Because that's all part of the game. That's all part of keeping people riveted to these fucking campaigns. All right? I have no problem. I'm not worried at all about the performance of Kamala tomorrow on the stage. She's gonna railroad his ass on that fucking stage like you wouldn't believe. And sure, MAGA's gonna walk away saying Trump won. Okay? Look, this is the thing. At this point now, less than 60 days outside of this election, Those people who are going to vote for Trump have already decided they're going to vote for Trump. Those people who are going to vote for Kamala have already decided they're going to vote for Kamala. The people who are still sitting there saying, I don't know which way to go, they're not going to vote. Okay? Forget it. Or they're just gonna you know, vote in something else or something. Okay, it's already too late for people to convince people to go one way or the other. Right now, everybody's just waiting for the day to go out there and write their name down or whatever. Okay, you know what I'm saying? They're ready for the election. They're ready for the vote. At this point, the debate is just a formality. Okay, it's just a formality. It's just eye candy for people that want to watch that. Okay. But like I said, Trump is going to do what Trump does, lie his ass off, you know, for 90 minutes. Kamala's going to talk policy, which, you know, she shouldn't even be trying to do that. I mean, if she's talking policy, she ain't talking to Trump, she's talking to us, because Trump isn't going to talk policy. All right, he's going to be up on the stage mudslinging. All right, but he's got nothing new to talk about. All right, and it's just sad that, you know, we have, you know, everybody, like the Democrats, like I said, it's sad that they're feeling, you know, like, you know, nerves are shot. Okay, it's like, you know, you guys were so sure in the last debate, you know, that Trump wasn't going to be able to walk all over Biden. And what did Trump do for 90 minutes next to Biden? He lied through the whole fucking debate. Okay? Biden won that fucking debate, okay? The only problem with the debate was the optics, okay? Biden didn't look collected. Okay? That's what these debates are really for. It's for people to watch. No one's really listening to what these candidates say. All right? Certainly not MAGA. They don't understand certain things about politics. They don't even understand policy half the time. Okay? You know, it's easy to understand abortion or to understand the border issue, but when you're talking about taxes or the economy, or, you know, how do you get that going and all stuff, it's like, phew, goes it over their heads. All they know is, you know, it's $2 more for this, it's more for gas, you know, we want, you know, they're bitching about things that really have less to do with the presidency and more to do with corporate America. Okay, and you can't fix the prices without getting assistance from Congress. Okay, the president alone can't do anything about that. And who's been in charge of Congress here the last, you know, Republicans? And what have they been doing? They've been playing, you know, delay and Stonewall and all this shit just to keep Biden, you know, tripping up and trying to keep it difficult for him to do anything. All right. So when it comes to the economy and stuff, you know, it's these people, all they know is that we can't let the Democrats succeed at anything, even if it means cutting their own throat. You know, that's what they'll do. So MAGA's going to be watching this, and they're going to be looking for stammering. They're going to look for people, Kamala sweating. You know, that's what they're going to do. And they're going to judge the success or the failure of the debate accordingly. Trump is going to look collected. He's comfortable lying, okay? And they love that about him. He can lie like there's no fucking tomorrow. And the press is not going to fucking fact-check his ass. Not until after the fact, maybe. Maybe a few things they might do, but not during. Not during the debate. Okay, they won't fact check him. They just ain't gonna do it because they need this to be a fucking horse race down to the wire. All right, that's why they do this. So this debate really is just a performance for the people that are into politics at home. They're gonna watch this, and then after it's done, they're gonna take it all apart. You know, just dissect it inside and out, and that's going to be that debate, all right? And they'll do the same with the vice presidential debate, okay, you know, the VP debate. That's what they're going to do. But I just find it kind of laughable that everybody's like, oh, no, how is she going to win this? She's not going to win this. I can tell you right now, when this debate is over, they'll highlight a few things Kamala said that might have made Trump squirm. But at the end, everybody's going to say, okay, Kamala won, and then the other side's going to say Trump won. Okay, so no one's really going to, you know, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter who wins the debate. It's all about the optics. It's about, you know, maybe convincing people that, oh, she can't handle the stress of, you know, being under pressure from Trump, or Trump can't handle the stress being under pressure from Kamala. They're going to see who's going to sweat the most on the stage. All right, that's what this is about. Forget about MAGA understanding a goddamn thing Kamala says about the economy and all that stuff. Okay, that's just gonna. They've already made up their minds about what the economy, what the problem is with the economy. Kamala is not going to convince them. All right, and the undecideds will watch, and they'll still be undecided even after that. I mean, what the hell do they need to know about Kamala to vote for her? You know, how? I mean, you're like less than 60 days outside of a fucking election, and you're still saying, I am not really convinced yet. Well, what the hell is going to convince you? You know, she's already been hitting the fucking campaign trail. She's already had, the fucking Democrat convention. You know, she's laid out what she wants to do. You know, what more do you need to know? I mean, if you watch this debate and you're still feeling that way, then get the hell out of here, because you're just never going to vote. All right, it's like, what do they call that? The Cinderella fucking thing there. You know, everybody is looking for the perfect candidate. Well, there's no such thing as the perfect candidate. Okay, you see, that's what George Clooney, Stephen King, and all these others were doing that got Joe Biden knocked out of the race. Okay, he didn't look perfect in their eyes, and they just didn't want him running anymore. Okay, even though the fucking guy has done a great number of things for the country, no, he didn't look good on the TV. He didn't, you know, we can't have that. You know, so you'd rather have a guy who looks polished and everything, but can't do a fucking thing when he's in office. You know, you thought Trump looked better than Biden during that debate, even though he lied out his ass. You see what I'm saying? That's that complex, you know, everything has to be perfect, you know, and I just can't understand why, you know, some people, like I said, it's only the optics. You know, if that debate had been any other way, nobody would have bitched at all. Okay, but because they watched it at home, and Biden looked, you know, like he couldn't keep it together or something, you know, he's stuttering a little bit, you know, and you know, it seemed like his thoughts were, you know, trailing a little bit on some questions and answers. You know, they took that 90 minutes and they defined his whole 4 years as president in 90 minutes. So he can't do it. He can't do it. They lost faith in him in that. So that's what this debate tomorrow is going to be about, optics. Okay? Now, Kamala, she can get up there. I feel like she can handle whatever Trump throws at her. I really do. I really think that, you know, she's ready for it. They say she's been, you know, practicing or whatever the hell they do before a debate. You know, she's going to knock this out of the park, you know, because she's going to fight back. She's not somebody that, you know, it seems to me like he's going to just roll over, you know, if he tries to pull that misogynistic crap on her or this racist bullshit on her. I mean, she's going to cut right at it, you know. So he better watch himself, you know, because he's at the point where his mind is kind of distorted, and he doesn't seem like he can respond with any coherence. I mean, Jesus, he talked to a bunch of investors here a few days ago about what he wanted to do with the economy, and they walked out of there like, Christ, you know, what the hell is he talking about? You know, he's gonna bankrupt the damn company, you know, the country. You know, he's not bringing down much confidence, you know, outside of MAGA anyway. MAGA, well, they're deluded, so they're going to think he's the greatest thing anyway, no matter what he says. But people outside of MAGA are not very confident that he knows what he's doing, or he knows what he's talking about. And those are the people that he's not, I mean, those are the people he's having a hard time trying to keep at his side, you know. And that's not good at this point in the game. He should be doing a whole lot better as far as demographics go, and especially, you know, they keep saying, oh, Trump, he's got, you know, he's got good positions in this and that. Well, they still haven't proven to me that he does, but if he does, then how come people that went and listened to him are still walking away with more questions than answers? You know, it doesn't make any sense. I don't see that he's being clear with people, okay? He's being, you know, very vague about certain things, and, you know, as far as some of the other things he talks about, like, you know, I'm going to get after these people, you know, who that were opposing me and all this, you know, all this revenge talk that he's been doing here recently, okay? That's not about me. That's not about you, okay? We don't want to hear that shit, okay? We want to hear what you're going to do for us. Remember what I said in the last video about selfish America? Selfish America is more selfish than Trump is for himself. So if they don't see that they're going to get more of the blanket on their side of the bed, and Trump wants it all, Trump ain't going to win. Okay? We want to hear what we want. You know, you're there to serve us. You're there at our behest. We vote you in. Okay? We vote you in. So, if you want Trump to win, you know, don't worry about the debate. If you want Trump to lose, don't worry about the debate. It's all on us. Our vote in November is going to decide it, no matter what happens in the debate tomorrow, okay? That's really the bottom line to this whole thing. Your vote, the election, that the voting day in November is the day that's going to decide it. It ain't going to be a debate. It's not going to be a rally. It's not going to be fucking, you know, whatever, some stupid thing that, you know, a candidate says or does that, you know, makes them look a little tarnished. No. At the end of the day, it's up to us. We are the final word on who wins. Okay? So, that's why you know, people need to vote. Everybody, you need to vote for this thing, because this isn't just your ordinary presidential election like it's been, you know, many times before. This is a different kind of election, because this one, you got the Democrats who want to maintain a democracy in this country and freedoms, and the other side is saying, we're done with all that. It's not working for us. So we're going to go down this other path instead. We want to go down this path where we have the president has more power, okay, and the president can enact certain things, and, you know, we're going to have more draconian laws and more benefits for the rich and stuff like that. You know, they want to enrich the top 1% in this country, and the rest of us will suffer more. You don't hear much talk about, you know, them wanting to make jobs or something like that. You know, that's the thing that you're not hearing a whole lot from Vance or Trump, is about jobs. So, you know, what's all that about? Okay, but like I said, that's kind of what we're looking at here. So let's go to a commercial break, and we'll return with another video here. So.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me!
This is me.
I'm Alex Curtis. I'm a lobsterman in Maine, and this is me.
I'm Ruth McLaughlin, and this is me.
I'm Eric Hopkins. I'm an artist, and this is me.
This is me.
Me.
This is me.
This is me.
This is me.
At the end of the journey, the main thing is you. Original.
they're right. When Governor Tim Walz took to the stage at the DNC, he showed us not only a proud vision for America, but a deep love for his family. Building an America that's better, more compassionate, is personal for Tim Walz, whose son Gus has special needs. Gus exploded with love for his father after he took the stage.
The camera caught him so incredibly proud of you, so emotional, saying, "That's my dad."
I'm grateful I got to experience it, and I'm so proud of him.
It was a wonderful moment for any decent person watching, but MAGA is anything but decent. Insults, mockery. These are the voices of Trump's enablers, the people who make up Donald Trump's movement. What kind of people taunt a disabled child? Trump's people. It's time to ask, is this who you are? Is this how you're raising your children? Is this what you want from a president?
It's never the Republicans who ever bring up race.
Is she Indian or is she black? She was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn and she became a black person.
This woman, this disaster whose only qualification was having a vagina and the right skin color.
Either Kamala Harris, she's the original Haktua girl.
She's never earned or won anything.
Pimp's trying to find a woman that's weak. You know what I mean, man? Jive turkey?
That's not how I remember Kamala Harris speaking. That sounded a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more jive to me.
Kamala Harris is a JV player. She is a DEI pick.
She was a DEI hire.
The DEI vice president.
She would be the queen of DEI if she were elected.
Affirmative action. You're selected because the melanin in the content of your skin.
Is it possible that she's getting whiter?
Whiter?
Yeah.
I think they've been...
Have you seen her lately? Like, it is weird. It's like she's like a biracial werewolf. Just
I've noticed she started wearing...
straightening. She's a DEI hire, right? She's a woman. She's colored, therefore she's got to be good.
So racist.
And my stupid people, when I wanted to refute it, they said, "Sir, don't dignify it with a rebuttal."
Have you been noticing peculiar behavior recently in someone you know?
Carried out by rape.
Someone who mixes fiction and reality?
The late, great Hannibal Lecter is a wonderful man.
Perhaps someone of advanced age you have known for years.
Did you just see Maduro, Venezuela? It's unbelievable, Venezuela.
Of course, we all have our goofs. But consistently odd behavior can be a sign of frontotemporal dementia, a degenerative disease of the frontal and temporal lobes of the brain that dramatically impairs cognitive function. And there are some key signs to look out for, like slurring words.
The failing New York Times by anonymous, really anonymous.
Struggling to find the correct words is another sign.
The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges of the investigation.
You may also notice someone veering into incoherent ideas, detached from reality.
You know what I'd do if there was a shark? Or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark.
Or an inability to complete simple sentences.
Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
Other notable symptoms include impaired motor function, such as a wavering limb, and decreased balance, often accompanied by a signature lean or arched stance. If someone you know is demonstrating several or all of these symptoms, they are seriously unwell. As a matter of safety, they must be relieved of critical responsibilities and disqualified from any position of authority. Remember, frontotemporal dementia is a degenerative disease. Cognitive function will never return and will only deteriorate further. Don't ignore the signs.
In this election, we each face a question. What kind of country do we want to live in? There are some people who think we should be a country of chaos, of fear, of hate. But us, we choose something different. We choose freedom.
Freedom, freedom!
freedom not just to get by, but get ahead. The freedom to be safe from gun violence. The freedom to make decisions about your own body. We choose a future where no child lives in poverty, where we can all afford health care, where no one is above the law. We believe in the promise of America, and we're ready to fight for it. Because when we fight, we win. So join us. Go to KamalaHarris.com and let's get to work.
I'ma keep on running because the winner don't quit on themselves.
What will you tell your kids? That you voted for a felon and a criminal, supported a man found guilty by a citizen jury, went into the voting booth happy to pull the lever for the only former president in history to bear the mark of criminal shame. Will you tell them that breaking the law is how they should live their lives? That lying to their families about porn stars and hush money is how they should behave? Do you want your son to treat women like a man who was found to have committed sexual assault? Do you want your daughter to be a victim of a man like him?
You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the...
Will you tell them that he was honest, that he was a good man,
Very fine people on both sides.
that he treated people the way you've taught them?
Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you.
Will you tell them you're proud of his cruelty, happy with the ugly insults,
I mean, I'd look her right in that fat, ugly face of hers.
the attacks on women, and the endless lies, that the chaos, death, and danger he brought was worth it? We know it's hard to walk away and put country over party, but your kids are watching. You're not just voting for your future, you're voting for theirs.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it.
It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
The Justice Department just charged 2 Russian operatives who were running an influence campaign trying to influence Americans' opinions about the Russia-Ukraine war and also Donald Trump's candidacy. You may have heard this story already, but I have a few new details to share with you, so stick with me here. These people, these 2 Russians, have been charged with conspiracy to commit money laundering, also conspiracy to violate the Foreign Agents Registration Act, known as FARA. And now, like I said, there's new fallout from this indictment. So I'm going to get to that in just a second. First, for anyone who doesn't know the details, I want to share some of this with you and some things that haven't been covered in mainstream media, at least not that I've seen, or independent media. Also, I've seen a few reports on this and some things I didn't see. I had to read about it in the indictment myself. So I did read the full indictment. And it's very interesting and shady. One of the most intriguing details of this case, of course, is how they were able to trick some very well-known MAGA commentators. You know, they were used as Russian puppets. And they were paid, these Russian-paid useful idiots got $100,000 per video to push Russian propaganda. That is obscene. That is an obscene amount of money, and it should have been a red flag. I guess they were just happy to cover their eyes, though, and cash the checks. So here's the deal. 2 Russians hired an American company called Tenet Media. Now, they hired them to create and distribute videos for a supposed businessman named Edward Grigorian. So this was a person who was willing to pay them very handsomely, millions of dollars in total. They received almost $10 million. It was laundered through shell companies in Turkey, Dubai, a bunch of other foreign countries. But this so-called businessman did not exist, and it was pretty damn obvious, too. I mean, anyone with a brain would have known this. So no one involved ever met or spoke with this Gregorian guy, and his resume was filled with basically generic corporate speak. Also, Gregorian had no online profile, which we all know. I mean, that is unheard of in 2024, especially for someone who they claim to be the, quote, director of private banking division and wealth management at a multinational bank. Seriously, that guy doesn't have any online profile, no footprint whatsoever, not a LinkedIn profile even. So anyway, the owners of Tenet Media just didn't care. They did not care. Tenet, by the way, it was founded just a few years back by right-winger husband and wife Lauren Chen and Liam Donovan. And after they were hired by these Russians, they went and they employed some of the very most popular talking heads on the right to create these videos. So they contracted with people like Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson. So they agreed to do these videos. But the I'm thinking of music already. Anyway, the DOJ hasn't charged any of these people, hasn't charged these commentators because it appears they were kept in the dark. Let's be real though. How did they not know? How did they not know that something sketchy was going on? No one makes anywhere near $100,000 per video in this business. Even if a video goes viral, it just doesn't happen. Most YouTubers don't make even a fraction of that in a year. So that amount of money is just absurd. They should have known. They should have known that something was up. But, I guess they buried their head in MAGA sand. And it's very clear Tenet's owners knew. They knew damn well that this was a Russian-funded operation because in the indictment, the DOJ cited some of their private communications, and Chen and Donovan privately discussed the fact that they were being paid, quote, by the Russians. They said that. And then they also looked, this is really funny, they looked at Chen and Donovan's internet search history, and they found that there was this one time when, I think it was Donovan, he had messaged the Russians and he was asking them a question about, hey, where's our money? You guys haven't sent it over, blah, blah, blah. Well, he didn't receive a response right away. He didn't get a timely response. And so he went online and searched for, quote, time in Moscow. Yeah, they knew. But, they were being paid enough to look the other way, I guess. Chen and Donovan, according to the indictment, initially they were receiving $8,000 a month just to scout and secure on-air personality. So just to go out and locate these people like Tim Pool who were willing to do this. And then after they sealed the deal with the commentators, the Russians were sending Chen and Donovan $25,000 a month to produce this content and maintain the new YouTube channel. So that's where they were hosting these videos. They were putting them on other places, TikTok and so forth as well. But they had a YouTube channel. So it's curious that neither Chen or Donovan were charged in this indictment. And there's really only two plausible explanations. So either they're cooperating, right? They're working with the investigators, or they're going to be indicted separately, which could be. So we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, though, Chen was just fired from her gig at the right-wing news outlet called The Blaze. So she was a contributor there. She created YouTube videos for Blaze TV, but the CEO for Blaze Media told Semaphore news outlet that Chen's contract has now been terminated. So that was within a day of this indictment coming down. Blaze also deleted all of Chen's episodes from their podcast on Spotify, and then they scrubbed her contributors page on their website. So they're like done with her. Like they didn't even wait for the ink to dry on that indictment. They're like, nope. Gotta go out the door. So it was also just reported that YouTube has removed all Chen related channels from their platform. They apparently terminated Tenet Media and then 4 other right-wing channels that were all run by Lauren Chen. And according to one of their field reporters, Tenet Media, I can speak, they no longer exist. So a guy named Taylor Hansen, he was one of their field reporters, he announced on Twitter that he's looking for a new job and or, asking people to help him fund his independent reporting. So evidently, Tenet decided to close up shop on Thursday night, just one day after this indictment dropped. So this is not Chen's month. Let's just say Chen and Donovan, this is not a good month for them. So, what I find interesting though, is that Chen and Donovan are not US born citizens. They're living in the US, but they're from Canada. Why is the America First MAGA crowd not calling for them to be deported for doing Russia's dirty work? Right? If the shoe was on the other foot, they'd be freaking out. It would be wall-to-wall coverage, 24/7 over on Fear News Network and all the other ridiculous right-wing propaganda channels. That they would be demanding deportation. If these were left-wingers who knowingly took money from, let's say, China to push Chinese propaganda, they would be freaking out. So what I'm interested to see, and what will be fun to watch, is if maybe Tim Pool and the others decide to sue Chen and Donovan, right? Because, their reputations now and their credibility are questionable. We all knew that they were pushing Russian propaganda, at least it seemed like it, but their audience didn't know that. The people who believe in them didn't know that it was actual Russian propaganda. And then they claim that they didn't know. They're all playing the victim card. But now you have to wonder, well, what about the other content that you put out? Were you paid for that too? Were you paid large sums of money to do that? What else are you being paid to put out there? I don't know if you guys noticed, but I have never read any kind of ad on my channel. And I do that purposely. I get hit up every week now by companies wanting me to push their products. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to be beholden to anyone but my audience. That's why I always ask if you guys can help out with donations or, monthly subscriptions and so forth, because obviously, you can't work for free as much as it would be great to be independently wealthy. I'm not. But yeah, I don't want to be told what I can and can't say or what I have to say, more so. That's the most important thing. And I just don't think that you guys should be hit left, right, and center with ads. You're already getting hit with ads on various platforms. So I find it sickening that, they would take these large sums of money and then do the bidding of even if it was just a businessman telling them what to say, how to say it, and these Russians were editing their videos. They allowed full control over the editing to these Russians. And then the company, Tenet, was putting out additional content that these Russians were pushing them to put out. Like that whole ridiculous video by Tucker Carlson, where he went to a Russian grocery store and showed how bountiful, their grocery stores were, how their shelves were so filled, and compared to America, oh, poor little America, help me, I'm poor. Come on, really? Even some of the Tenet producers called foul on this. They reached out to Chen and Donovan and said, hey, this seems like just plain old propaganda. What do you want me to do? They want me to put this on our channel. And Chen and Donovan were like, yeah, go ahead, do it. Do whatever they want. Knowing that these are Russians. So, yeah, sketchy, shady people all around. Don't trust any of them. This is like, you can look back at Tim Pool and some of his coverage, blatantly, flat out saying that Ukraine is the reason Ukraine was invaded. That they basically, he's slut shaming them, like the right wing does with rape victims. Oh, they were asking for it. Ukraine was wearing a short skirt or top was really low cut. Basically that's what he's saying. I'm obviously making a joke, but that's the gist of it. So anyway, just sickening, obviously being used. We see it all the time. We see it with Tulsi Gabbard. We see it with Sucker Carlson, as I call him. All of these people, just sickening. So
okay, so yeah, this Russian media thing here, Tenant. I have to wonder. As quickly as they wrapped up that company there after the day after they got indicted and stuff like that. That was like gone. So that was a shady fly-by-night outfit that was there just for one purpose, and that was to feed people lies. Okay, so I have to wonder. Newsmax, Fox News, how much Russian influence is going into those shows, and what else in other ways, is Russia trying to, support MAGA here, okay? And because, MAGA doesn't want to acknowledge or even admit that the money they get from these things is coming from Russia. They you know what I'm saying? It's like they're trying to bury their head in the sand about it, so they can deny, oh, well, I didn't know that's where that money was coming from. Of course they have to know, like she said, when you're talking big money like that, everybody wants to know where that's coming from. And I think that was probably the red flag that piqued everybody's interest is, holy shit, look how much money they're making on YouTube with this. Where's that coming from? You see, they were making way too much smoke, making their videos and stuff. So, but it's a very ballsy thing because we got rules in this country about campaign foreign interference and stuff, and yet we're hearing about hacking and we're hearing about Russian media shows and this over here in the States where people are spewing crap that Russia wants people to say, but where's the justice system really trying to stop this? We don't hear about them investigating right into Russia itself, or trying to do something to prevent them. What do you do in this situation when you find out that these people have been operating here under the guise that they're Americans, but they're not. They're working on the behest of this country, okay, during an election cycle. And so people expect that they'll take steps to stop it from happening again, and yet this is not the first time we've spotted the Russians getting their hands dirty here in this country doing stuff, okay. And it seems like since like the first time Trump was running for president, people started to pick up on that more. But things started to come out right around that time about, Russia doing this, Russia doing that, and the talk hasn't really stopped since then about what the Russians have been doing. Investigations, galore, but, what are we learning here? You know, who's fat head over there in Russia is doing all this shit? Is it Putin, or is it some of his cronies, or, you know, what the hell? I mean, do we have, you know, a deal being made between Putin and Trump where, you know, the money's being laundered through something, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, if that's the case, then that's even more reason why Trump shouldn't be running for president right now, because he's in collusion with a communist country who's interfering with our election. And so when all this information comes out, why are we sitting on it? You know, why can't we throw this out here now before the election and say, look, we found this shit, we got to put a stop to his campaign, because we're finding his name is coming up all over the place here with linked to Russia, with all these things going on over here. We got to stop this. He can't run, you know. But no, you see, the reason I think is what's going on is because so much money has been invested in Trump running here, as much as the Democrats get money, that it's the influence of that money that's keeping this fucking campaign going. Okay, media's making tons of money, the campaigns are making tons of money. And if the government stepped in and put a brake on the campaign on Trump and said he can't run anymore, that's going to be a huge loss of money on, you know, both sides, the Democrats and the Republicans. Okay, so they don't want to see the campaign stop. They want to suck this thing dry for all the money they can milk out of it. Okay, that's what they want to do, and it's only going to be after the fact. I mean, especially if Trump loses, where the shit's gonna fall. And Trump knows this. Trump knows this, that if he loses this election, he's gonna lose a whole lot more than just a goddamn campaign race. He's gonna lose his freedom, probably. You know, he's gonna be spending all next year trying to cover his ass, you know, from getting into prison. So he's trying to avoid that like the plague. And in my opinion, he has no skill to get that position again, because he can't seem to talk about anything else but bullshit. You know, you wouldn't think this guy was trying to get that job. The way he talks, he sounds like he's taken a very, you know, lax attitude toward it, like it doesn't matter what he says. Okay, but the truth is that, you know, if he really wants that White House, he should be listening to his campaign, and he's not. That's the part that I can't. That's really bizarre about Trump. When we say it's a weird campaign, it is weird on many different levels, and bizarre, and, you know, and a mystery in some aspects. Like, you know, does he have any intelligent people in his campaign running this thing? Because if they had any brains, they'd be telling him to keep his fucking mouth shut and stop telling lies. Because the Democrats are keeping a mental list of that, of how many times you're lying, and that's giving them more information and more ammo to throw back in your face later on down the road. You know, you don't want that. You don't want to keep handing the Democrats more and more stuff. I mean, right now, Kamala has probably got a damn dictionary-sized book of all the fucking things that he said that's blown up in his face. You know, all she's got to do is flip to the pick and choose. You know, he can't defend himself against any of that stuff. All his excuses about the things that he's done were just fabrications. He has no excuse. He's got no defense at all for the things that he's done. The convictions, the crimes and stuff. He's definitely not going to answer any questions about the shit that he did with those national archives during the debate. He'll just avoid that, okay? Because he knows he's guilty there. There's nothing he can say to defend himself. You know, he'll lose that argument in court. If he doesn't win this election, that's going to come up in court, and he'll lose. He'll lose that. So, but with Kamala, like I said, I'm not worried about what she's gonna be like tomorrow. Okay, I think what she's got to do is figure out how to shut him up when he starts lying. You know, stop him from pivoting. You know, from topic to topic. You know, not answering a goddamn thing, and then trying to come up with lies. I mean, I think that's really what she's got to focus on, because she's got a wealth of knowledge. Okay, but she has to stop him from pivoting all the time when he's talking. You know, when she corners him with a question and he changes the subject, she's got to hammer back. Okay, that's where she's gonna have to use her skill as a prosecutor to be able to get him to corner him. It's going to be, you know, one talking over the other, I guess. I don't know what, you know, if they're going to be doing the mute thing. I don't think they will, but it's going to be, you know, a hairy debate or conversation, whatever you want to call, because a debate requires two people coming to a thing with facts, okay, talking about issues. But in this case, it's more of a conversation because you got one guy who doesn't have facts and just a bunch of lies and insults, and one lady who's got all kinds of facts and all kinds of things to fuck him up because he ain't going to be able to think quick enough on his feet to counter what she says to him. So he's just going to, you know, he's just going to hurl, you know, oh, what, you was Indian before, now you're black. He's going to bring up shit like that. That's the best he can do. All right? And all he can say, oh, under you there, the economy is good. And you won't be able to prove any of that when he talks and says that shit. It's just bumper sticker slogans. That's all he's got. That's all he's got. But Kamala's got a plan. She's going to explain, if she can, you know, what her plan is going to be. And Trump is all he's going to be able to do is react to it, saying, it's a stupid plan. That's the dumbest plan there is. Okay, why is it a stupid plan? Why do you think it's the dumbest plan there is? He won't be able to answer that. Because it's knee-jerk reaction. That's all he knows how to do. But he can't attach any intelligence to the debate. And that's what a debate is. If you're going to disagree with somebody, you better have some facts to back it up. If you can't provide them, then hey, shut up. You know? Yeah, that's the way these debates are. I mean, if you don't believe me, just go, you know, on YouTube or wherever, look at some past debates between candidates running for office, okay? You're going to hear an exchange of information and ideas. Whose idea's got the best idea and which plan's going to work. That's what you're going to hear in those debates. Okay? This debate, like I said, is not going to be like that. Because one of these people coming to the floor to debate is not qualified to even be standing there on the stage. He's not qualified. All right? He wasn't qualified the first time around to be president, even though he won. He did a piss poor job, okay? Cost 1 million Americans their lives, you know, on his watch. And he tanked the economy. And, you know, he didn't do a very good job while he was president. You know, his people expected more from him, thinking, oh, well, he was a businessman. Well, he was a failed businessman. He wasn't a very successful businessman. He was a failed one. He went bankrupt 6 fucking times. Okay? He doesn't do very well when it comes to money. So to trust him to take care of our economy, well, you're stupid. Because he won't. He's going to wreck that again. So, but that's, you know, like I said, he is going to be very ill-equipped tomorrow on that stage. And people are saying he's going to back out before the debate. He just might. He might decide tonight, I'm not going to do it, or or tomorrow, or, you know, a few hours before, I'm not going to do it. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. If he feels like he's going to be stepping into a bear trap, he's just going to fucking run. He's going to run for the hills. A lot of people, that's what they're thinking he'll do. You know, I don't think he will. I think he's going to charge right in there, bullheaded as he is, and just sink. Okay? You know, just like piloting the Titanic straight onto the iceberg, you know. And, you know, the thing about this is because it's Kamala, a female, that's going to be bucking him on that stage, he's going to be fucking pissed, okay? Women don't get a chance to corner him. He doesn't like women doing that to him. Women are stupid in his head, but she ain't stupid. And when she starts to corner him, we're going to see why his wife doesn't really show much affection to him. He's gonna try to do to her what he does to his wife here, Ivanka, whatever. Okay, that's what he's gonna do. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to be more interested in see how he reacts on that stage, because that's really going to show his weaknesses when she starts to you know, bite his head there, you know, while he's sitting there trying to spin shit, you know. That's what I'm hoping I'll see, you know. That's what I think that's basically what I think the Democrats can really sit and hope for in that. As far as MAGA goes, you know, I'm not sure what they're going to hope to see from him that they haven't seen already. Okay, they might clap and applaud the shit that he says at a rally, but you know, when it comes to a debate, there's not going to be that many people clapping and applauding to things he says. All right, because you know, he has a singular wit, I guess, and you know, it seems to be you know, only MAGA that seems to find him entertaining and, you know, and whatever, but that's just a small group of this country. That's not a lot. So anyway, I guess that's it for today, and I hope everybody will have a good rest of the week. So subscribe, comment, and share, and please keep your ears open for any health-related issues, and treat each other nice out there. Enjoy what's left of the summer as we move into fall here. And like I said, do good things will come back to you. So I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.